Welcome back to Rockers Beer Review. Today we're doing the top 10 albums review of the year. A bit of a mouthful, but these are 10 albums in no particular order which have been released in 2024 and which I've enjoyed and decided to put in my sort of top 10. So let's kick off in no particular order, as I said. I'm starting with one of the earliest albums that came out this year, and that was Dark Matter by Pearl Jam. To me, a real return of form. I think this is up there with certainly their top 5 albums of all time, and they've done quite a few albums over the years. But there was certainly an energy that I think was lacking in the last 2 or 3 albums. Definitely better songs, more guitar solos. There's much more guitar orientated. There's a lot more lead playing that I think was much more prominent. And it's almost a little bit of back to sort of like some of their earlier first 2 or 3 albums in style. So Dark Matter, that's going to certainly be my top 10 albums of 2024. The second pick is Ocean Without a Shore, which is by Weather Systems. That came out at the sort of back end of the year, really. This is Weather Systems, are the band that sort of have come out of the ashes of Anathema, one of my favourite progressive rock bands of the last decade, really. They split up in 2020, and the guitarist Danny Kavanagh created Weather Systems. It's very much in the vein of Anathema, if you like Anathema, certainly any of their sort of last half a dozen albums, then I think that you'll really enjoy it. Female vocals, very cinematic, very progressive. Just a great album. So that's Weather Systems and Ocean Without a Shore. My third pick is from King Crow. Now, King Crow are an Italian progressive metal band, and this is the album called Hopium. And again, I think this sort of they've the last few albums they've got better and better and better, and this is very much in the vein of sort of modern progressive metal, not like your Dream Theater with lots of instrumental breaks, much more on the sort of songwriting, and just another great album. So King Crow and Hopium is my third choice for 2024. My fourth choice, we're going a little bit left wing here, or a little off-piste as it were, and this is A Matter of Time, the new album that came out from Shed 7. Now, Shed 7, I was a big fan back in the sort of Britpop era, the mid-90s. They released a couple of really great albums in that era, and I haven't really been on my radar. But this album came onto my radar. I thought I'll give it a listen, see what it's like. And from the first listen, I just thought it was brilliant. Just relived those mid-90s sort of days, really. Songs are good. There's just a real energy with this album. So yeah, I definitely have to pick that in my top 10. So that's A Matter of Time by Shed 7. My fifth pick will be the Pineapple Thief's new album that came out this year called It Leads to This. Again, I think the last few albums have got better. This is very much a progressive rock, but I'd say it's more on the sort of rock side than progressive. I don't think they're as progressive as some of their sort of earlier stuff, like Variations of a Dream, for example. Much more sort of indie rock with slight progressive overtones, really. The drumming is great. Gavin Harrison, people know him from Porcupine Tree, is the drummer with Pineapple Thief, and he has been for the last 3 albums. And I think his input has shown that they've got better as his input has increased. So it's another great album by Pineapple Thief. In my sixth pick, which, you know, if a gun was held to my head and I had to pick the best album of the year, I think this would be it. And this is David Gilmour's Luck and Strange. An incredible album. I think going into it, I had quite low expectations. I've never really sort of warm to David Gilmour's solo albums compared to sort of the Pink Floyd sort of stuff, but this to me is a little bit more on the Pink Floyd sort of style, but at the same time it's quite sort of individual and personal as well. Certainly the songs like Scattered, which is the last song on the album, is just amazing. It's up there with some of the best stuff that I think Pink Floyd have ever done. It's an incredible track, great solo, and there's lots of great solos throughout the album, really. And it's quite laid back, but there is sort of elements of there where you can just see that there's I think it works really well in a live. I've seen quite a few of the live stuff that they did at the end of the year, you know, whether it been in Italy or the Royal Albert Hall, and it just looks like there's a credible energy with the band at the moment. Another track was the cover Between Two Points, where his daughter Romany sings, or pretty much sings most of it, to be honest. I mean, there's a slight duet, but she's pretty much singing most of it. And another is a cover of a quite obscure band, but it's a really great track, and that really sort of stuck out for me as well. So that Luck and Strange by David Gilmour, to me, I think probably the album of 2024, but obviously has to be in my pick of the top 10. The next one in the my sixth pick is Melodies of Atonement. This is from Leprous. Now, Leprous, if you don't know, another sort of very modern progressive rock stroke progressive metal band. Their albums are certainly the last few. I've become a big fan of them. They're probably up there one of my favourite sort of modern progressive bands, and this is no different. The singer is absolutely out of this world. He's an incredible singer, but some great instrumental sort of elements to it. Again, not like your sort of Dream Theater with lots of widdly big guitar solos, big keyboard solos. None of that really. I mean, solos are sort of a bit few and far between. It's all about the melodic sort of areas and the sort of melodies in the vocals, but the vocals are really heartfelt. He's got probably one of the best voices, I think, in modern progressive rock today. So that's another great album from Leprous. My next pick is Amarok and their album that came out this year called Hope. Now, Amarok, again, quite obscure sort of band. They're from Poland. They're part of this sort of big Polish progressive rock scene. For me, Amarok are very much influenced by Pink Floyd. You can hear lots of Pink Floyd, both in the singing and also the playing as well. It's quite sort of melodic, a little bit cinematic, but it's another great band. So if you're fans of like Polish bands like Riverside and the like, then I think you'd really like Amarok. So give them a go. Amarok and Hope. Another slightly obscure sort of neo-progressive band called Anubis. Now, these are an Australian band. They had an album out this year called The Unforgivable. It's a sort of concept album, very big on the sort of vocal harmonies, lots of layered guitars and keyboards. It's just a very melodic and very sort of immediate sort of album. Even though it's a concept album, the songs on there are very good, and I really like that this year. So that's my ninth pick, The Unforgivable by Anubis. My eighth. No, it is my ninth pick. Yeah, I'm just going through them there. So my last pick for 2024, and I know I've been going through this quite quickly really, but I just wanted to get these out really. My sort of latest probably band that I only just got into at the back end of the year, but I think they have to appear in my top 10 albums, and that's Vola. I think that's Vola, or it might be Vola, how you pronounce it. Their album's called Friend of a Phantom. They're a sort of Danish, I think they're four members, half of them are Danish and half of them are Swedish. Again, very modern progressive rock. They mix lots of sort of electronic, modern prog, even pop, and also sort of metal, sort of like that djent sort of quite heavy guitar, and they mix it all in a big mixing pot. And some of them, the melodic stuff coming out of it is just absolutely beautiful. And I've become a real big fan of this band. I'm still sort of going through their back catalogue, looking at some of the reviews of some of their previous albums. That they felt that a lot of reviewers felt that their albums before that were better, but I really love this album, so I'll be getting back into them. But yeah, let me know if you're a fan of a Vola, or if it's Vola or Vola. Friend of a Phantom was the album that came out this year. Very good melodic. I say melodic, but there's lots of very sort of melodic areas, but then there's lots of really heavy stuff. There's a real mixture of that sort of style, and I think it's just the style that I'm become a big fan of. There's a lot of these sort of bands that are very in the modern progressive sort of theme that are like this, where they're so far away from the likes of Dream Theater, even bands like Porcupine Tree and those sort of bands as well, Pain of Salvation. This band is like a lot of good modern progressive bands where it's progressive but not overly so, and they're not afraid of mixing lots of different elements to get a very good overall sound. So yeah, great album by Vola, and that'd be my 10th pick. So my 10 picks are Dark Matter by Pearl Jam, Ocean Without a Shore from Weather Systems, Hopium by King Crow, A Matter of Time by Shed 7, It Leads to This by Pineapple Thief, Luck and Strange by David Gilmour, Melodies of Atonement by Leprous, Hope by Amarok, The Unforgivable by Anubis, and finally Friend of a Phantom by Vola. So there's my top 10. Interested to know if there's any albums that you felt that are not on my list that you would put in your top 10 of 2024. Let me know in the comments. And what are you looking forward to 2025? I'm hoping there'll be a new Marillion album. We know that Steven Wilson is releasing a 2-track album in March, which will be 2 songs that are all about 20 odd minutes each. So that will be very progressive. I'll be interested to see how that sort of fares basically. And yeah, well, anything else that we should be looking out for in 2025, let me know in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed this little 12-minute or so overview of my top 10 music of 2024. I know I say it in a lot of the videos I do for music, but there'll be more music videos. I've just finished writing one, a ranking for a rock band that aren't a progressive rock band, but I won't reveal them too much. But keep an eye out for that as it gets released over the next sort of week or so. I'm planning to do I might wait until that Steven Wilson album comes out to do a ranking of his albums, and there's a few other things about. I want to do something about guitar solos, my favourite guitar solos, and I also want to do something about a music genre that's quite quite special to me, and that's power metal. So if there's any power metal fans out there, please subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we'll get that out maybe in the first half of 2025. So please give a thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. As I said, please let me know your comments, what you think of my top 10, what will your top 10 of 2024 be. And until the next one, you know what you do. Keep on rocking.